Sorry, I just saw you walking here and I thought you were quite cute, so I wanted to say hello.
Oh, sorry, I have a boyfriend.
That's all right.
Thank you,
See ya.
Oh, I've got a partner.
It's all right. Okay, see ya. Excuse me.
Ladies and guys who are absolutely terrified of rejection from a girl and who use it as an excuse not to go outside and talk to said girls, Andy here. This is the Kill You're in a Loser show. Let's fucking go. So you just saw there one of the guys that I took out for some coaching recently, a guy who goes by the name of PlaytimeIsOver on my forums. I took him out recently for some coaching. He hit me up to do some Tinder pictures, and I went out and did a bit of coaching, and I got him to talk to some girls as well. And I wanted to start by showing you guys some of the rejections that he got. And then in a minute, I will walk you through. We did some videos together. I'll show you, some of his successes. He ended up talking to a bunch of women. I wanted to start with the rejections to show you that they're not as scary as you think they are. I showed you 3 rejections from him, and every time he came back from those rejections, he had a big smile on his face, and he was glad. He was glad that he had the balls to walk up and talk to those women. A lot of the time we build rejection up to be this big, terrifying fucking thing. Oh my God, what if she doesn't want to sleep with me? What if she has a boyfriend? What if blah, blah, blah? Most of the time when you get rejected, the girls are going to be really goddamn nice to you. Rejection really isn't this scary thing, but we build it up to be. You can absolutely do what this guy, PlaytimeIsOver, has done. He's not anything special. You can absolutely emulate his results. So a little bit of backstory behind this guy. He hit me up to do some Tinder pictures for him and do a bit of coaching during the photo shoot as well. And by the way, that's how you know someone is serious, when they're willing to fly over to see me in person for coaching. That person is absolutely serious. That's how I know you're fucking serious. So he had never talked to a single girl that he didn't know before in his entire life, as in never hit on a girl in public. As I record this right now, it's only been 3 days since he saw me for coaching, and he has now hit on 27 girls. Remember, never hit on a girl in his entire life. He's gotten 5 phone numbers. One of those was an Insta date, as in he immediately went on a date with her. Like the second he hit on her, they went out to lunch. And then he also had the balls to hit on an old co-worker of his that he had never made a move on before. He also hit on a sex worker during these approaches with me, who asked him if his parents were divorced. He also hit on a lesbian, so stay tuned if you want to hear some of those stories from his point of view. He'll tell the story later in this episode. Even better, he told me that his long-term plan was to take about 7 to 9 months to build himself up to a point where he'd be able to talk to girls. That was what he told me on the first date. It's going to take me 9 months before I can get to a point where I start trying to get laid, which is absolutely a bullshit limiting belief. So he seriously thought all this shit was going to take him 9 months, and he did it in a weekend of coaching with me. A lot of the time we will have these limiting beliefs that turn out to be complete bullshit. Or we might have an idea of how long something is going to take, but we're really just putting it off because it's scary, or we don't feel ready, or we don't think we can do it. I'll get back to the actual coaching. When we first met up, we talked about mindset for a little bit. I talked through a lot of the stuff I'm telling you guys now. Your limiting beliefs are bullshit. I gave him a ton of epiphanies, and I challenged some of those limiting beliefs. Like I said, his 9-month plan was to take a bit of time off, do the Approach Anxiety program, which is a program that I did. It's a free program. It teaches you how to actually hit on women. He planned on taking time off work for that, building up the confidence to eventually be able to talk to girls in person, and that was, he thought, about 9 months from now. I told him that was bullshit, obviously, and I showed him that he could talk to girls and get laid right this second if he actually wanted to, which was kind of like a mindset shift for him. He was like, really? Are you sure? So I pushed him to talk to a couple of girls, which he was terrified to do. He pussied out on the first girl, but then he did the second girl. I gave him a few mental tricks and a few things like that. Took him by the hand, so to speak. He ended up, like I said, he talked to 27 girls in total. He did 20 with me, and then he went off and did another 7 over the next 3 days after he saw me by himself, which he didn't think he could do either. I'm sure by the time this podcast is actually released and you're watching this, it would have been like 50 or 70. I bet you he gets to 50 approaches or 70 approaches by the time you guys actually see this. He's going fucking nuts with his approaches, and I couldn't be more proud of him. So again, these limiting beliefs are often bullshit. I'm going to tell a story in the next week of another guy in my coaching group, in my group coaching, who thought it was going to take him until December 31st this year. So that's what, 7 months from now, to lose his virginity. And I said to this guy as well, mate, that's fucking bullshit. If you wanted to lose your virginity this week, you could. This week you could do it. 4 days later, he sends a message, hey, I lost my virginity, thank you. So a lot of these times, these limiting beliefs are just bullshit rationalizations we have for procrastinating, for putting shit off. Back to this guy, Playtime is Over. We did a few awesome Tinder photos for him as well. I'll show a couple of those on screen. We went around, we found a cat at some point. That was a ton of fun. We literally found a random fucking cat wearing a little bow tie. We picked up the cat. We did some photos of that. That was cute as fuck. And as he said in his own words, which you'll see in a second in this interview, he said I saved him like 9 months of time. I gave him 9 months of progress in 2 days. And this was because he had the balls to take some fucking action. Enough talk. I'll show some of the footage that we shot of him talking to girls, as well as a few vlogs that we did during those 2 days, as well as giving you some of his own advice to himself, to his version of himself a couple of days beforehand. You guys who are sitting there thinking, I can't go outside and talk to girls, or I have to wait till the perfect moment, or now isn't the right time, or let me just lose some weight first, or let me dress myself better, or I'll do it in a couple of months when I have more free time. That's bullshit. There is nothing stopping you from going outside right fucking now and talking to women. If you take one thing from this podcast, it is, I will go outside right now and talk to a fucking girl. It's not impossible. Whatever bullshit time frame you have for when you're going to start is just that, bullshit. So the audio isn't amazing on a couple of these, so forgive me for that. Next time I do this, I'll take my proper microphones, but enjoy these videos. If you want coaching and you want to be pushed just like I did with this guy, links in the description below to my coaching. Enjoy the video, and please go outside and talk to women. Don't let your limiting beliefs hold you back. For fuck's sakes, go and do it right now. Okay, so Mr. Playtime, you just talked to some chick in the park. How was that?
That was okay.
What did she say?
She seemed more nervous than I was, to be honest. But
it's because you've done it like 100 times now.
Yeah, I think that was number 8.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she was nice. She just quickly said, oh, I've got a boyfriend, but looked a little bit shocked, I suppose, but that was all right.
Nice. Let's go do more. Okay, Mr. Playtime, so you've done like 3 more since we last recorded a video. It's obviously nighttime right now.
Yep.
You just did one, and that's why we're recording this video, because that one thing you just did then was like super into you.
Seemed that way. Yeah. That was the first of the 11 approaches where one of them seemed like receptive.
Really keen.
Yeah. She gave me her number, and she was just basically asking when we're going to hang out. Told me I was cute at one stage.
How did that feel?
It felt good. Like, it was a real interaction, where all the other ones have just been like, I just want to approach and get it over and done with.
Yeah.
Whereas I could have stayed there and happily talked to her for a bit longer.
And right now, what are we doing? We're on a mission. I set a stopwatch for half an hour to see how many girls you can talk to try and show you what's possible. Because the first 8 you did took us about maybe a day. So now we're trying to bang out like another 8 basically in like half an hour.
Keep going.
We'll come back when we've done a couple more. Right, guys, we are back. We just finished the 30-minute attempt to see how many approaches we could do. I set a stopwatch for 30 minutes, and you did
7.
You technically did 8, but the last one sort of fell outside that 30-minute window a little bit.
Yep.
So before that, in the first day and a half, you'd done 8, and then I gave you a challenge. How many can you crank out? Can you do 7 in 30 minutes? How was this compared to the first 8 in like significantly less time?
It was significantly easier, if I'm honest. The first one was definitely harder than the other 14 by leaps and bounds. So it still hasn't really sunk in. Like, I haven't processed it because it's been like
that you've
2
done
days.
15.
Yeah, like I'm approaching girls now, which is very strange.
You're a guy who approaches girls. Like, you're that guy now. You're the guy, and like you've already gotten a couple of numbers. How many numbers did you get, including the Instagram that chick gave you? 3.
3 numbers. 3 numbers.
One of whom was like crazy into you. Even said, you're leaving here, you flew out here to do this coaching with me, you're going back home, and she said like, I actually visit your city. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, like, don't count your chickens before they hatch, but
no, I'm just, I came here just to, well, I was trying to psych myself up just to do one approach this weekend, and I'd be super proud of myself if I could do that. But yeah, here we are. So
I told you this, I've already told you this, but like my plan for you was like, there's no way I was going to let you do like one approach. I didn't tell you that because I didn't want to psych you out.
Yeah.
You sort of thought we were going to come here I was going to take your photos for your Tinder and like we'd talk a little bit, do a tiny bit of coaching, but
Yep.
yeah, 15, I'm proud of you. 16.
Yep.
Noisy fucking drummers in the background. Piss off, we're talking about girls.
And like they do get a lot easier. Like the first 2 was pretty hard when we just got here today. Now it's night and day difference.
Yeah.
Everyone's heard this before.
And that momentum, that like social momentum, so to speak, will carry on. It resets sort of every couple of days if you go a couple of days without talking to girls, but you'll do 1 or 2 approaches that day and then you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm smooth again. Like I remember what to do. This isn't that big scary thing that I thought it was. So it kind of half resets, but not too badly.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so we're back, you sexy motherfuckers, and you've just done 3 more approaches.
Yep.
You did 1 crack whore, who might have been a crack whore, and 2 other girls that had like stuck up body language. And you said, I'm too scared to talk to them because they kind of got this bad body language. I was like, go talk to them. And what happened?
No, look, they didn't seem very impressed.
And that happens sometimes. What's the worst thing that's happened so far? Out of all the approaches, you've done what, like 18 approaches. What's the worst thing that's happened?
Literally the worst thing is just the girl wouldn't stop to talk to me and just kind of looked strangely at me. But that was the worst. Even those girls with the bad body language still said, you know, thank you for saying I was cute and I have a boyfriend, goodbye. Yeah, like nothing bad happens. You're so... You have all these thoughts in your head of like, oh my God, what's going to happen? She's going to bite my head off. I'm going to get yelled at. People are going to watch. I'm going to get arrested. I'm going to get cold creepy. Like none of that shit happens. The worst that happens is just a girl says, I'm not interested. I'm going to turn my hat around so we get better lighting. So let's do like a full recap of everything we've done over the last 2 days. We met yesterday. We spent like half a day together. Yep.
Pretty much like another 5 hours today. When we first met up, we did a bunch of mindset stuff. There was a lot of like doubts you had. I kind of like went a little easy on you and didn't tell you that I was going to make you talk to girls. We took some Tinder pictures. We did that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think it's important to say like I had no intention of really approaching. Yeah. I didn't think I was going to approach. I thought maybe if I'm really pushing myself, there's a small chance I'll do 1 approach. I knew you were going to approach. I knew I was going to make you. Had you talked to girls before? Had you ever hit on a girl before that you didn't know? I've never approached or spoken to a girl in that way that I didn't know. And now you have done 18 approaches. What self-doubting, what negative thoughts did you have? Like what self-defeating thoughts did you have before you did it? Man, like we've all had these thoughts. I had these thoughts running around my head for 4 years, just like, you can't do it, you're too much of a coward. It's not you. Like you're not good enough to do this stuff. Not good enough, it's not in my DNA. I'm not that type of person. That's the internal. The external is people are going to think you're creepy, like you're going to ruin your reputation. People are going to like remember you. Tell the police. Yeah, you're going to get arrested. Just everything. I feel like the world's going to end. And did any of that come true? Any of the bad stuff? No, that was just not to make light of it, but by the end of it, felt quite easy to be honest. So. And it is once you do a few. It seems like this big scary thing. You go out and do a few and you're like, I'm just saying hello. Yeah. Like I'm just talking to people. I'm talking to girls. That's it. Yep. We build it up. And the only reason you build it up is because you've never done it. Yeah. And just like anything you've never done, it seems terrifying. You get in there, you try it, you do it, and you're like, oh, why did I think this was complex? It's just like saying, hello, you're cute. Can I have your phone number? Okay, no, bye. Okay, yes, cool. Like that's about it. Yep. And the rest is kind of just filler, like the small talk stuff. The first question you asked me, when I said, go talk to that girl over there, you said, what do I say? Yeah. Does it matter what you say? From what I found, no, it doesn't. Like, every person I ask says that. Yeah. I mean, if you can string a coherent sentence together, it kind of helps get a reaction. Yep. But yeah, generally, no matter what I was saying, I didn't even know what I was saying half the time. I was just saying. And that's the thing, neither will they. Because they're nervous too, and I think this gets lost and forgotten. You're a stranger. You've just walked up to someone. You're tall. I'm 6'2". You guys can see on the video, he's like fucking 6'4". He's a fucking giant. He's like one of the first people that's taller than me. We walk up to them and say hello and shit. She's like, wait, what the fuck is this? I wasn't ready for this. I'm reading my book. I'm on my phone. What the fuck is going on? She's intimidated by you. You're a good looking guy. You're dressed like this. You're dressed with some edge and shit like that. You walk up and say hello. She's now thinking like, what the fuck is this? Oh my God, I don't want to look like an idiot. I want to say the right thing. I don't want to miss my own name. She's nervous as well. And that gets forgotten. And so she doesn't necessarily even remember what you fucking say. So once again, guys, it doesn't fucking matter what you say. Just start with the basics. Hello, you're cute. How's it going? I'm Andy. What are you up to today? The rest doesn't fucking matter. Ask for her phone number, obviously. And the rest is really just filler to kind of fill in the time so that you can both, or she in particular, can feel like slightly more comfortable. It doesn't need to be more than 30 seconds, a minute. What was the longest that you talked to? The Asian girl in the supermarket.
There was
the longest one you talked to.
There was some that were going really well, and I felt very natural to just keep talking. To me, it felt like a minute and a half, probably only 40 seconds, but it was a conversation.
It was about 3 minutes.
Okay.
As me watching.
Yeah,
And that's like the longest you ever talked for.
Yeah.
And you got a couple of numbers. You got like, what, 3 numbers?
Yep.
You don't have to be having these big, epic, long fucking soliloquies. Isn't that a beautiful word? Soliloquies with the girls. You don't have to be having these big, epic dialogues. Just, hey, you're cute. What are you up to? Great, I'm up to this. Oh, my friend's over there. I'm going to go. Can I get your number? That's it. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. What was the first one you did, like? The first approach?
The first approach.
Like, how did you feel? Because you were terrified before you did it.
Yes. Well, this has some context behind it. So I had just pussied out on the first girl that Andy pointed out.
Yeah, I pointed out one to, yeah.
Totally wussed out. But that feeling of wussing out and that feeling of failure, being on the cusp of realizing that you're about to give up, feels way, way worse in that moment than trying to give it another go.
Yeah, regret's always worse.
And then the other thing you said, which really fired me up, was if you can do an approach within your first 5 attempts, you will be beating radical. And that just, my competitive nature just got the best of me, and I felt really fired up.
I coached him on how to talk to girls in person, and he pussied out for like the first like 5 girls or something. He pussied out for a long time. I shouldn't say the word pussy out. He was facing his fears and shit. It took him a little bit of time. It took him like half an hour or so, and then he started talking to someone. I said to you, if you can do it, the next girl, you beat him. And full credit, you did it. Now that's not fair because he didn't have any competition.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But
I thank him.
We'll still say that you're better than him. Let's just say you're taller than him.
If not for that competition, I may have given up just there.
We talked a little bit through like your insecurities, how to wrap your head around doing this kind of shit and stuff before we did any. What's like 1 or 2 mindset shifts that either I gave you or that like the discussions we had gave you? What changed in your mind either before you did it or after you've done it or at all in the last 2 days?
Well, definitely taking action on something has changed the most of my mind. I thought it would take me 3 to 6 months to get to what I did today. I thought I'd have to complete the entire AA program to be able to get here, but we've just jumped in.
Yeah, you've done 18 approaches now. You've gotten 3 numbers. And to be fair, we weren't even going that high just then.
Yeah.
Like I set a stopwatch for half an hour and you did like 7 in that time or 8 or whatever it was. But we really weren't. Most of what we've been doing for the last like 2 days, it's just been talking really.
Yep.
And taking Tinder pictures and stuff. If you went hard, you could easily do like 15 a day. If I wanted to make you, we could have done 50. Now, we had to do Tinder pictures and other shit like that, but yeah, you could easily do 50 with someone pushing you for sure.
Yeah, and being with you specifically has fast forward the whole process. There was so many little mistakes that would probably take me weeks to realize, like walking past a girl I thought was too young, or I can't approach a girl from the front, it has to be from the back.
She's not walking in the right direction. She's walking too quickly. She's on her phone. Yeah.
And I still wussed out at times. There was probably 22 girls you pointed out. So I was still wussing out.
You say wussing out, but you only walked past like 7. You only didn't talk to like 7 that I pointed out to you. Most people don't talk to like 80% of the ones that you point out. You did pretty good. I'm fucking surprised, actually. I'm really surprised by how quickly you jumped into it. Like, good job.
And the great thing about having you here is after one of those walkaways, Andy could just straight away say, that's an excuse. You can't approach this person.
As in the ones you didn't talk to.
Yeah. And it was like, you know what? You're right. And I would have remunerated on that for weeks, if not.
Yeah. And I wish, to some extent, I'd had like a coach or like I had friends, but I tried for my own ego at the start to learn to talk to girls by myself before I started doing it with friends. And I probably wouldn't have accepted like coaching or something. I had too much of an ego, and I wish I didn't, because just like you said, I would try and talk to a girl who's sitting down and I couldn't do it. I'd make excuses, and then I'd go, oh, I can't do that. If I'd had someone there to call me out on my bullshit, like I could kind of do to you tonight, and say like, why'd you go back and talk to her? You're pussying out. It like shatters that limiting belief of like, I can't talk to her if she's sitting down, if she's in a rush, if she's on the phone, if she's with her friend, if she's sitting inside, if she's going into a supermarket, if she's in a store. Like, all of that is bullshit, but you need someone else to be there to say like, no, what are you doing? Go talk to her. Or she looks too grumpy. She has a resting bitch face. She looks too hot. You said that.
Yep.
Like, she's too attractive. She's out of my league. It's nice to have either a wingman who's more experienced than you, or a coach, or a friend, or whatever it is. Someone who can just say, like, that's bullshit, bro. What are you doing? Like, go and talk to her. And you did all the ones that you, not all of them, but there are a lot where you didn't talk to her. I said, that's bullshit, go do it. And then you did, and you came back and you were like, yeah, that was okay. Why didn't I do that? That was okay.
Yep.
Did we talk about the sex worker girl?
No, not yet.
Let's talk. Okay, so there was this one girl that was sitting down. I'd already seen her a couple of times. Like, I saw her twice. And so she was sitting down at some point, and I was like, dude, that girl's cute. Trust me, go talk to her. You sat down. You were talking to her for like, would have been like 3 or so minutes. It was a fairly long conversation. You came back and I was like, how did it go?
Well, that was the third approach, so I was still very nervous. I kind of missed the bench when I was sitting down. So she could already tell my body language.
Did you fall?
I kind of like sat on the handle on the bench. I was like, whoops, that doesn't feel right.
That is like a really good point, that you don't have to be smooth. Spoiler alert, you got her fucking phone number.
Yeah. So she looks at me strangely like, are you okay? I'm like,
are you mentally ill? Do you need your carer?
Yeah. But I'm feeling pretty good, so I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Like, how are you? How's it going? And she just called me out. She said, you seem really nervous.
Which is, like, girls won't say that to you, by the way, guys. Like, that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, and she was as cool as a cucumber. Even though I haven't done many approaches, I still knew that was strange.
Yes.
And it turns out she's a sex worker, so she's used to kind of
a lady of the night.
Yep, she's used to weird guys approaching her. I still asked for a number and got it. Well, she said, I'll give you my number, and I kind of pre-rejected myself. I said, no, I know that's a trick. Don't worry about it. But she's like, no, let me give you my number. And so we exchanged numbers, and we're texting now. So
the problem is you're leaving in a couple of days.
Yeah.
You shouldn't count your chickens before they hatch, but there is a world in which if you lived here, maybe in a week or two, you bang this girl. Maybe, again, don't count your chickens before they hatch. A number doesn't count as a lay. It doesn't count until you actually have sex. But I kind of wish you were like living here, because I would have liked to see how some of these numbers went. It would have been cool if you got a date, if you got laid. There's a world in which that happens. Point is, you came here expecting one thing, you got something much more. And now, as we've already discussed this off camera a lot, what I want you to do is go back home and keep doing this. Before you approached, you said, how long do you think it'll take me before I can approach? And, should I do the approach anxiety program? How do I get myself to that point where I can do it? And I've just shown you, like, dude, you can do it right now. I even said that to you. I was like, before we did any, I was like, you could do it right now if you want to. In fact, let's do that. And then, you just did 18. And we're going to go out after we finish recording this and probably do a bunch more. You mentioned that a lot of the girls were super fucking nice.
Yeah.
Guys are really nervous that I'm going to walk up and she's going to be a bitch. She's going to tell me to fuck off. She's going to reject me. Like, girls just don't do that. Like, most girls are really super fucking nice. Like, they don't want to hurt your feelings. Even the ones that have had boyfriends have been really nice. Like, they've been apologetic about the fact that they have a boyfriend.
Yep.
Like, did that surprise you?
I did. Even the girls who I thought had a bit of an attitude.
Like, as in they looked like they had an attitude.
Yeah, they were dressed in leather and, like, they're ready to buy my head off. Even they were smiling when I said, hey, I thought you were cute, and said thank you.
And what girl wouldn't smile? Like, you just gave her a compliment. You told her she's cute. Why wouldn't she be nice about that?
Yeah, I mean, there was that one girl who was gay. When I first approached her, she's like, oh my
God,
on
the lesbian.
This guy's going to kill me or something, attack me. But after I called her cute, she seemed like surprised, like, oh, thank you, that's nice. I'm gay, by the way, but...
Gay pride. Gay power. White power. Black power. All the powers. I like all the powers. Austin Powers.
Cancelled.
Deleted from YouTube. The coaching with me, how did, like, having someone more experienced to talk you through it and to coach you, how did that help?
Indescribably helpful. I can't really say much more. There's definitely no way any of this would have happened by myself. It's just like having the cheat codes or something.
It is, isn't it? It's like, I already know what's going to happen. I already know how to do it. I can already tell you, like, your fears won't come true. I promise you everything will be okay. And you kind of, like, trust. Why did you trust me? There you go. That's a question.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So as you're saying, your voice overpowers the voice in my head that says people are watching you.
Which is interesting, yeah.
People are afraid of you. And I don't know, man. It's just all the things you've achieved. And now that the people who follow you are achieving, that's all adding to your credibility.
Well, you're probably, funnily enough, we can segue. You're going to probably inspire a few people with this. I think you'll be surprised.
Hopefully,
I think you'll be really fucking surprised. There'll be people that watch this. I know you right now. We've discussed this. Where you're like, we're all just normal people. Because you were talking about me and other people, and you said people really look up to you, Andy, and like idolize you, and like other people, obviously, like good looking loser. And I say that's hilarious from my point of view, because I'm just like a dude. you're now in the position. I guarantee you there'll be people who watch this and be like, holy fuck, dude, you inspired me. And you're gonna, the first time you get that, you're probably gonna laugh and be like, oh, me? What are you fucking talking about? You're gonna be surprised. There will be people that take this, just like Ed, the guy that I did the interview with. Yeah. How many people have told me, guys, like how many of you have said like Ed's story was amazing? If you go and say that to Ed, he'll be like, holy fuck, like me? I'm just Ed though. I'm just like the dude. So good shit, man. Like you've done a really goddamn good job.
I'm still grateful to you guys, everyone who has done it before me, because I do think it has made it easier for me.
It does.
Every person just proves it can be done. It can be done.
Yes.
It can be done. So
I felt the same way about the people who did it before me. I was like, well, if they did it, like surely I can do it. Where do you think you'd be if like you hadn't come here? We hadn't done this coaching. We hadn't gone out and talked to girls. Where would you be if you were still back in your old city?
Well, my plan, I would be starting the AA a month from now, and maybe 3 to 6 months after trying to finish the AA. Where would I be if I wasn't here? You would have
put off the AA program, the approach anxiety program, because you were talking about putting it off, and I said, don't put it off. You wanted to wait till things were perfect.
Yes.
I'm going to do a podcast on this in the next couple of days about don't fucking wait till the right time, because there is no right time. I already have a bunch of notes. I'm going to go hard on that one. I'm going to go in your asses, guys. I'm going to be fucking in your asses.
If I wasn't here and I worked my butt off, my first approach would be 4 months from now.
If you went fucking crazy, you would have to really go crazy with the approach anxiety program. Yeah. And then when would your like 18th approach have been? That might take you a month.
Yeah.
You've just done it in like 10 hours.
Yeah, realistically, if I wasn't here, it would take me 6 to 9 months to get to where I am right now.
Which is like fucking terrifying to think about.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I can say the same thing about one of my coaches, Dan Henry. I'll shout him out. He's a guy who does like coaching on coaching and how to make money and stuff. I'd be fucking like 3 years behind if I hadn't like watched his shits. What would you say if someone is on the fence about like coaching, whether that's coaching with me? Guys, you're welcome to come to fucking Brisbane and done what PlaytimeIsOver has done. Coaching with me, coaching with anyone, just like coaching in general. You're thinking like, I want to make that plunge, but I'm on the fence. Like, what would you say to them?
Be honest with yourself. If you can't do it on your own, you don't have to. You could get a huge leg up, more unimaginable than you ever thought possible. So, people were asking like, oh, it's pretty expensive. I hope this guy's good. And I was asking myself that, like, oh, I'll try it once and maybe it's too high. But I mean, saving me 6 to 9 months is worth way more than what I paid.
Yeah, and that's something I'm going to start making a bigger deal about in like my podcast and stuff. When I mention my coaching, I need to make it more clear that like, you're not just paying me money so that I can, or any coach, you're not paying a coach money so they can just get your fucking money and help you. You're saving fucking 10 months, a year, 2 years of effort, of struggling, of pain, of misery. I can say the same shit for Good Looking Loser. He wasn't a coach, but like he was my mentor. If I hadn't found him, I would have fucked around with girls and getting laid and improving myself for like 4 or 5 years. That guy saved me like 4 or 5 fucking years. I don't know how to make it any more clear. If you watch this video and you want to do coaching, fucking hit me up. We'll talk more, and we got more shit to say after this, but fucking hit me up. If you are on the fence, send me an email, we'll jump on a call, we'll talk about this. I don't want this to be a big long thing about coaching, but please don't keep making fucking excuses like, oh, it's too much money, or they're like, fucking it's too much money. Are you kidding me? I took out a $10,000 fucking loan. How many times have I said this on podcasts? So that I could move to the center of my city, so that I could take getting laid properly. I used that money so that I could work part-time, something that you talked about, going part-time. You're going to go part-time with your job so you can get laid more. And I used that money to pay my fucking rent so I could get laid. And I'm so goddamn glad I did that. I'm so goddamn glad. I don't want to hear the excuses of too much money, don't have enough time, now's not the right time, this, blah, blah, blah. We can apply that to girls as well. If someone is listening to this and going like, I can't talk to girls right now. Like, I can't do coaching. I definitely can't, ignoring the coaching, I can't even talk to girls right now. Like, it's just not the right time. I'm not good looking enough. I have to go to the gym, blah, blah, blah. What do you say to that person? I would say fucking do it, pussy.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good to me.
Fucking do it, pussies.
And I'll just add to that, doing 9 months of work in 10 hours, 12 hours.
Essentially.
Yeah, so I feel much better now knowing that I can go off and try to do this on my own. But if I ever do hit a wall, I just call up Andy, we'll do the coaching, and I'll smash through maybe another 9 months in a day.
Yeah, for sure. It's really hard to get across. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you've gone through this. We hit these like sticking points where we have these timelines in our head where we're like, it's going to take me 9 months. It's going to take me this many months. I did the same with money, guys. I did the same with my own coaching and my own money. I thought to get to a point where I can pay my bills, it's going to take me 3 years, 4 years. I followed this guy, Dan Henry, and other mentors that I learned from, who all go like, pussy, you could do that right now if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And they give you like 10 ideas. And you guys have seen me do this. I talk about my coaching in every fucking podcast now, don't I? I wasn't doing that before. I got told to do that by my mentor. I send emails to my email list. I offer this coaching. I'm about to put my prices up. Here's another package up. Basically, like, as soon as I start taking this shit seriously, I save myself years of time. We have these limiting beliefs in our head that this thing that I want to achieve is going to take X number of months or years. And most of the time, that's fucking bullshit. Like you just said, it would take me 9 months to talk to girls. You've just done 18 in 10 hours. Roger, one of my other coaching clients, and he gets full credit for this, not me. I get a little bit of credit because I helped him. He, mostly of his own volition, talked to 124 girls in a fucking day. Don't tell me something isn't possible. The things that you think aren't possible are bullshit. They really are. You could talk to 50 girls in the next 2 hours if you wanted to. Maybe I'll make you go do that now, but like, I won't. It's getting late. We'll go talk to some girls. The things that we think are impossible are not. The timelines we set for ourselves are usually fucking bullshit. And usually if you are willing to go all in, go hard, do whatever it takes, and just take action as you said, you'll achieve things you never would have believed possible in the time that you never would have even conceived of. 18 girls in a day and a half is not that fucking, it's not even that hard. You will, in the next couple of days or the next couple of months, I suspect, you'll get to a point where you do something crazy like 50 girls in a day. I can see you doing that. And you'll do that and be like, why did I ever think that 18 was like a big number? Like 50 is a big number. Or you'll do some of the shit that I've done. Like you'll have a fucking foursome, or you'll have sex with like 3 girls in 8 hours or something. 3 different girls. Like, and that's not even in my mind. That's easy. But there was a world in which I thought that was impossible. So any last remarks? Is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, just jump in the fire, guys.
Yeah.
Don't regret it.
Make it happen. Get it done. Go outside and talk to some cuties. If you don't want to hit me up for coaching, fine. Go outside right now and talk to one girl. That's our challenge to you, both of us. We're 2 tall gingers, and we want you to go outside and talk to one girl right now. Otherwise, you're a coward, you're a thief, you're a liar, and you're letting your parents and your siblings and your friends down. And more to the point, you're letting me and PlaytimeIsOver down. Don't do that. Go talk to a girl. See ya. We thought we'd do a quick last recap. I swear to God, this would be the last video. You just did 2 more. I'm about to go home in a second. It's like 8 p.m. at night. So now you've done 20.
Yep.
And one of the ones that you just hit on was like super into you, Brazilian girl.
Yeah, Jessie got off a long shift and was in the middle of eating her dinner, I guess.
She got off a long shift and now she wants your long
maybe.
stiff.
We'll see. But she was just super nice and kind of, I don't know, I guess I could tell she didn't want me to go away, or she was okay with me talking to her.
Yeah. And if I wasn't here, you already said you probably would have just kept talking to her. So 20, you got what, like 4 numbers?
4 numbers.
No bad rejections, really. No one was mean to you.
Yeah, like, I'm not going to freak out about any of that. 4 numbers and 2 that would, like, I feel are pretty serious.
Yeah. Good shit. Awesome. 20. Good job. Adios. Testing, 1, 2, 3. I don't need to fucking pee.